Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Muhammad Wafi bin Ahmad Musrab,
Hi, my name is Auni Hasyilah binti Abu Yazid.
and we would like to present about our project production of liquid organic fertilizer from oil palm empty food plant fiber OPEFBF waste.
Okay, we start with the introduction. Okay, so why we wanted to use this OPEFBF waste? The major biomass byproduct from the palm oil industry is empty fruit bunch, EFB. So EFB have a great potency as a basic raw materials used for the fermentative production.
Let us move to the background study. A fertilizer is any material of natural or synthetic origin that is applied to the soil or plant tissues to supply one or more nutrients essential to the growth of plants. Apart from solid fertilizer, there is another type of fertilizer that less popular than solid fertilizer. It is liquid fertilizer. When we compare between liquid and solid fertilizer, liquid fertilizer is the most effective one. It is because the absorption of the liquid fertilizer into the soil is faster and plant can get quickly the nutrient needed for them to grow. As for us environmental students, to keep protecting the environment, this liquid fertilizer will be produced without involving any chemicals.
Farmers are feeling the sting of skyrocketing fertilizer prices as they make fall applications.
Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the Finance Ministry had been instructed to solve problems faced by farmers in the country following the increase in fertilizer and pesticide prices.
The prices of food and drinks could increase next year due to the soaring cost of ingredients and goods. Restaurant operators said the price hikes would be inevitable as they cannot absorb.
Moving on to the problem statements. Waste management fundamental principles are to reduce and recycle waste, to recover energy from waste, and finally to dispose of the waste. These principles also apply to agro-industrial waste such as palm oil residues. It simply cannot afford to discard residue when a more economical viable option exists. Inorganic fertilizer also increase the possibility of high salinity. Saline soil has too much salt and can negatively affect a plant's ability to absorb nutrient and water. This fertilizer can be cause a crust on top of the soil and can affect the water absorption into the soil.
Next, the use of the plant or using organic fertilizer are still lower compared to using chemical fertilizer. And the last one is the excessive usage of the inorganic fertilizer could lead the infertility of the soil, and also structure of the soil will degrade. And if the soil gets too acidic, the plants will suffer.
Next is our project objective. Our project is based on these three objectives. The first objective is to determine the formulation of liquid organic fertilizer from oil palm empty fruit bunch fiber or PEFBF waste.
The second objective is to evaluate the effectiveness of the liquid organic fertilizer from OPEFBF waste on growth of scissor spinach and rubber feed. And the last objective is to analyze using liquid organic fertilizer on soil parameters. In this project, we will using liquid fertilizer as our final product because it absorbs into the soil immediately and the nutrients quickly make their way to the roots. Okay, for oil palm fiber waste, in Malaysia, these three oil palm waste were the major waste in oil palm industry. So we chose empty fruit bunch fibers because of the higher in NPK content.
So for the macronutrients in fertilizer, one of the factors to the effectiveness of fertilizer is macronutrient, which consists of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, or the popular short name is NPK. Nitrogen promotes leaf development because of its roles in plants coloring and chlorophyll. Phosphorus and potassium have some overlapping roles. Phosphorus plays a key role in growth of root, blooming, fruiting, and why it is essential nutrient for plant in spring. Potassium also plays a part in root growth as well in stem development. We move on to the methodology. We had been using three formulations, which are formulation A, B, and C. Formulation A consists of 1 kg OPEFBF, 0.04 liter bioactivator, 50 gram molasses, and 2 gram catechurine. Formulation B consists of 1 kg OPEFBF, 0.04 liter bioactivator, 50 gram molasses. And formulation C consists of 1 kg OPEFBF and 50 gram molasses. 1 liter of water was added to these three formulations. And lastly, all material in each formulation had been mixed and incubated for 14 days.
So, this is the overview of our plans. We can see the 5 treatments that had been conducted to the plant, which is formulation A, formulation B, formulation C, commercial fertilizer, and control. For commercial fertilizer, it was the fertilizer from the market, and for control, it was the soil without fertilizer.
Oil palm anti-food brown fiber OPEFBF waste was collected at FDB Palm Industry Sedemra at Lepah Hilir. The amount needed for OPEFBF waste was 5 kg. Next, OPEFBF waste was drying under hot sun for a total of 16 hours in 2 days. After that, the OPEFBF waste was divided into 3 formulations, which are formulation A, B and C. All formulations were fermented for 14 days in paint pail using an aerobic system to produce liquid organic fertilizer. After that, in once a week, the plant were fertilized by the liquid organic fertilizer with amount of 2 spray in each pot. Each plant had been examined every week to see the progress. Now for result and discussion, the OPEFBF waste had been calculated with moisture content of 10.53% after dry under hot sun for 2 days. This showed that it was in the range of the optimal moisture content between 10% to 20% for compost medium. Move on to the NPK content in all formulation of liquid organic fertilizer. It is shown that commercial fertilizer had the highest nitrogen content with 545 ppm compared to others with formulation A, in second with 485 ppm, C in third with 465 ppm and B in fourth with 445 ppm. High content of nitrogen help plants to grow faster and this allows the soil to be used more efficiently. Phosphorus content as shown in the graph show that the commercial fertilizer has the highest with the 100.3 ppm compared to others with formulation A in second with 95.12 ppm, C in third with 88.54 ppm and B in fourth with 70.74 ppm. High content of phosphorus had assist with the growth of root for plant. The graph showed that potassium content in commercial fertilizer was the highest with 1012 ppm compared to others with formulation A in second with 1007.2 ppm, C in third with 990.2 ppm and B in fourth with 927.6 ppm. High amount of potassium content had led to the strengthness of plant stem and also fight off disease.
The first soil parameter is pH. The optimal range some plants will grow is 5.5 to 7. For citrus spinach, the lowest pH that had been recorded is 6.7 and the highest pH is 7. For rubber fig, the lowest data is 6.8 and the highest is 7. So the change in pH among these 5 treatments was found to be not significantly different. However, commercial fertilizer was found to have the highest pH followed by formulation A as the second highest. Okay, let's move on to the next parameter, which is temperature. For citrus spinach, if we look at the data, the lowest data had been recorded is 27.6 Celsius in week 3 and the highest data is 29.3 Celsius in week 4. For rubber fig, the lowest data is 27.6 Celsius in week 3 and the highest data is 29 Celsius in week 4. All the treatments had been maintained the same trend, that is decrease in week 3 because of the rainy season. For the last soil parameter is moisture content. For citrus spinach, the highest data is 79.9% in week 3 and the lowest data is 76% in week 1. For rubber fig, the lowest data is 74.3% in week 2 and the highest data is 80% in week 1. According to the research on soil moisture, the majority of plants thrive in soil with a moisture level that range between 70 to 80%. So in this project, we can analyze that commercial fertilizer was found to have the highest in each parameter, followed by formulation A as the second highest. For the control treatment, it has the lowest average in each parameter because it only contains soil without the... For citrus spinach, it shows the average of all the parameters for each week. From week 1, it shows commercial fertilizer was the highest mean of all the parameters, followed by from formulation A, formulation C, formulation B, and the last one is control. After 3 weeks of observation, the number of leaf, plant height, width, and length of leaf among the 5 treatments still follow up by the first week, where the highest is commercial and followed by formulation A, C, B, and control. For rubber fig, it's still same from citrus spinach. From week 1, it shows formulation A was the highest mean of all the parameters, followed by commercial fertilizer, formulation C, formulation B, and the last one is control. After 3 weeks of observation, the number of leaf, plant height, width, and length of leaf among the 5 treatments still followed by the first week, where the highest is the formulation A, and followed by commercial fertilizer, formulation C, formulation B, and control. So what we can conclude, it shows that all the formulation significantly increase the growth parameter of plants compared to treatment without fertilization, which is control. From the result of this project, it can be concluded between three formulations that had been done. Formulation A was the highest in every aspect. The LOF developed with these combinations was as effective as the commercial.
The advantages of the commercial fertilizer can increase plant growth rate and produce more leaf, while for formulation A has high NPK content and improve the soil. The disadvantage of commercial fertilizer is for 1 liter liquid organic fertilizer, it is expensive, while for formulation A, it needs further research to eliminate all the issue. Conclusion, throughout this project, the effectiveness of the liquid organic fertilizer from oil palm empty food plant fiber OPEFBF waste had been investigated and analysed. The OPEFBF waste performed well as main ingredient in production of liquid organic fertilizer and towards reduction of agro-industrial waste in Malaysia. Out of 3 formulations, formulation A was selected as the best formulation for increasing growth rate of plants after 1 month of planting.
That's all from us. Thank you for lending us your time.